Okay, double 2 plus infinity time quadratic formula over hyper.
Hey, welcome to Maths Code. All right, this is part 2 of solving simultaneous equations, and today I will be putting the steps. So we're going to do this step by step. So as you can see, we have the first question. Let me start by writing the first step. Here's our first question: x plus 7y equals to 64. And then the next equation is x plus 3y equals to 28. So the first step is determining the sign, which will eliminate one of the variables. In this case, x and x, they're positive, so subtracting them will eliminate them and leave you with y. So once you subtract them, you're going to be left with 4y equals to, and then 64 minus 28 gonna leave you with 36. So step 2 will be to divide this by 4, so you can get y. So this is divided by 4 over here, so we're gonna have y is equals to y is equals to 9. So then you're gonna step 3, we're gonna get this 9 and plug it back up there on the first equation. So it's going to be x plus 7 times 9 equals to 64. So x plus 9 times 7 is 63. So which is equal to 64. And then step 4, like step 3 is plugging in the numbers, right? And then step 4 is solving the equation by making x subject to the formula. So if we subtract 63 this side and subtract 63 from the other side, we're going to be left with x is equals to 1. And then take this one and plug it back to the first equation. Like you take this and come plug it back in here. So step 5 is going to look something like this. Okay, it's going to look exactly like this. 1 plus 3 open brackets, plug in the y2, so plus 3 times 9 is equals to 28. To see, I mean, yeah. And if it gives you 28, then this should be right. So it's going to be 1 plus 27, which does equals to 28. So that's how you find out if you have the right answer. So yeah, our x is 1 and our y is 9. Okay, moving on to the next question. So step 1, just start off by writing down the equation. Since this is like a minus, because we're trying to eliminate these ones because they're the same. So 4y plus negative 4y will give you a 0. So plus, we use a plus. So if you add them, it's going to be 5x equals to 27. So step 2, we divide we divide this by 5. So step 2 is going to be x is equals to 5.4. Okay, so then we take this, we plug it into that first equation. So it's going to be 4, open brackets, 5.4 minus 4. Oh yeah, and the number could be a decimal sometimes. So it doesn't mean if you get a decimal, your answer is wrong. Okay, so four times 5.4 will give you 21.6 minus 4y equals to 24. So if we subtract 21.20 21.6, if we subtract 21.6 from both sides, we're going to be left with negative 4y is equals to 24 minus 21.6 will give you 2.4. So step 4. Okay, first you just divide item. You divide by negative 4. And then you get negative 0.6. So we take this and plug it back up in there for step 4. So it's going to be 4 open brackets 5.4 minus 4 open brackets negative 0.6 equals 24. So this is going to be 21.6 minus 2.4, which equals to 24. I actually used the same equation. I plugged in back to the same equation. So we can try with the other equation. So x is, what is x? 5.4 minus 4 open brackets negative 0.6 close brackets. So 5.4 minus 3.4 equals to 3. And this is the second equation. So that means it's right. Okay, moving on to the next question. All right, moving on to the next question, which is 2x plus 4y equals to 14. 4x plus 4y is equals to 4. Because the y's are the same, we're just going to... No, this is a minus, actually. Yeah, like I was saying, because the y's are the same, that's what we're going to eliminate. And looking at the signs, we're going to add, which is the first step. So 2x plus 4x is 6x. And then, which is equals to 18. And then divide this by 6. So x is equals to 3. And then plug this x into the first equation. We're going to have 2 brackets 3 plus 4y equals to 14. And then that's 6 plus 4y equals to 14. And then you divide this by 4. Right after you subtract 6 from both sides. So once you subtract 6 from both sides, you're going to have 4y is equals to 8. And then you divide by 4. So we're going to have y is equals to 2. Then we're going to plug it back in there again, up there on the first equation. In fact, let's use the second equation, because for the first one it's obviously going to be right. So that's going to be 3 minus 4 open brackets 2, which will leave us with 12 minus 8, which is equals to 4, which is this 4 right here. So, which means it's right. Moving on to the next question. Alright, let's move on to question 7. I skipped question 6 from the sheet I was working on because it's a word problem, and we'll work on those for part 3. 2x plus 4y is equals to 26, and then 3x minus y is equals to 4. Okay, now for this one, because none of the variables are the same, for the first step, we're gonna have to multiply. So step 1, we multiply to make one of the variables the same. So we're gonna get rid of y. So I choose to get rid of y, so I'm gonna have to multiply it by 4. This bottom one over here. So once we multiply it by 4, it's going to become 12x minus 4y is equals to 16. So we multiply everything by 4. And then from there, we're going to add, because of the signs, that's a minus and that's a plus. So if you add them, the y's are going to cancel each other out. So that's going to be 14x is equals to 42. So we divide this by 14 for step 2 to get our x. So x is equals to x is equals to 3. So we take this x and plug it into the first equation. So it's going to be 2 open brackets 3 plus 4y is equals to 26. So that's going to be 6 plus 4y equals to 26. You subtract 6 from both sides, it's going to be 4. Y is going to give you 20. And then y, you divide by 4, then y will give you a 5. So that's our y. We take this y and plug it into that same equation. This is step 3, by the way. So once we plug in the variables, it's going to be 2x plus, we already know what x is, so it's going to be 3 here. And then plus 4 times 5 is equals to, okay, wait, yeah, expand the brackets and it's going to be 6 plus 20, which equals to 26. And then we can try plug it into the first equation. And our first equation is, let me just write it over here. I mean, before we multiplied, it was 3x minus y equals to 4. So if we plug in the numbers over here, it's going to be 3, open brackets, 3 minus 5. So which is 9 minus 5, which equals to 4. So yeah, that's how you get to do that one.
3.7 equal altitude of trapezoid divided by equilateral triangle is a hypotenuse of 2x plus 7.